Oh, yes, it is summer in Ontario, the short season of warm, pleasant weather in which the Canadians, still shivering from 6 months of freezing snow and rain, take great delight. Tim and Lisa decided to escape the sweltering heat of Virginia to head north and spend a few days with Mom and Dad in Waterloo. So Mom dons her summer hat and we head out to Stratford, the arty little town west of Waterloo that is the area's theater center for Shakespeare's plays, among others. But since we didn't like paying $113 per seat for the performances, we headed to the English Gardens in the center of town instead, stopping to take photos of the arches of the river bridge, Tim and Lisa resting in the arbor, and having ice cream at Mom and Pop Ice Cream Parlor along the river. Then on Monday, we head for Lake Huron to a beach town called Bayfield, discovering the delights of this lakeside touristy town with all of its many shops and cafes. Descending down a long wooden stairway to the beach, Lisa tests the water temperature to see if we would wade the lake waters along the sandy beach where families were having fun romping and throwing frisbees. The sidewalk plants are just gorgeous, with the town's gardeners being very imaginative with their sidewalk creations. The main street is a delight, with the many high-end dress shops trying to allure customers with their 50% off sales. This sign is Joy's namesake, Enjoy, trying to entice the ladies to part with their hard-earned dollars for some unique blouse, dress, or casual outfit. It didn't work. On the 1.5-hour drive back, we noticed that the grain harvest was in full swing in the many fields of waving grain. Huge combines cut down the grain and separate the grain from the chaff. At the end of a couple of rounds, the combine pulls up to the grain wagon and dumps its precious cargo into the waiting wagon. Mrs. Farmer is in the tractor that pulls away the loaded grain wagon and speeds it back to the barn or grain elevators. In the small town of Wellesley, we stopped to photograph the shocked grain done by the Amish farmers, who cut down the grain with a much more antique piece of equipment and then shook the bundles of cut grain into sheaves. Many of the old order Mennonite farmers in the area have succumbed to hiring their grain cut with the huge combines, according to our Canadian Mennonite staff historian Barb Draper, but the Amish still stick to their old ways of shocking the bundles of grain in the field. They then load the sheaves onto iron-wheeled wagons and thrash it with an old-time thrashing machine. A thrashing crew of as many as 15 farmers gathered to do the thrashing for each other. It is a dirty, hot, and dusty job, but it is one of the main summertime farm rituals. Dad remembers doing this on their neighbor's farm in Harleysville, Pennsylvania, back when he was only 6 years old. It triggered Dad to belt out the old gospel song, "Bringing in the Sheaves," something that the next generation has never heard. Finally, after a barbecue meal from the local hogtails, it was back on the deck in Waterloo where the dogs get lots of lovin', as shown here with a big smacker by Mocha for Lisa. And since it has been a dry summer, Mom is watering daily the pansies in the flower boxes of our shed in the backyard. Thus endeth a fun 4-day holiday for the Kasmerics and Benners, July 29 to August 2, 2011.